She turned her own son into a killer, but he would turn on her years later. Sante Kimes was born Sandra Louise Walker in Oklahoma on the 24th of July, 1934. Her childhood was reportedly quite troubled. She was said to have shown signs of pyromania and would sometimes torture her siblings with fire, so that is a brilliant start. In the early 1970s, Sante met wealthy motel owner and millionaire Kenneth Kimes Sr. They went on to have a son together as well. They named him Kenneth Kimes Jr., and he was born in March 1975. Despite being married to a literal millionaire, Sante continued committing crime, insurance fraud, arson, forgery, and theft. In 1985, Sante and Kenneth Sr. were arrested for enslaving and abusing maids in their home. Sante served 5 years in prison for this, and Kenneth Sr. served around 3 years. After both of them were released, they reunited, they were all living together, but then Kenneth Sr. died in 1994, and Sante continued running a number of scams and increasingly involved her son, Kenneth Jr. By the late 1990s, Sante and Kenneth Jr. were wanted in multiple states for arson, fraud, and suspected murder. They were linked to several disappearances and several different killings. One of the most infamous was Irene Silverman. Irene was an 82-year-old wealthy New York socialite and widow. She had no children, and she was said to be a very lonely woman. She rented rooms in her Manhattan townhouse for company more than money. She just wanted somebody there. In the summer of 1998, she rented one room to a quiet young man who called himself Manny. Manny turns out to be Kenneth Jr. Just weeks after moving in with Irene in this rented room, she vanished on the 5th of July in 1998. But the same day that Irene was reported missing, those two were also missing. They completely disappeared. Later, Kenneth would go on to tell authorities that he tackled Irene in her bedroom while Sante turned up the TV to drown out the noise. He then went on to strangle her. Her body was allegedly loaded into a car and dumped at a construction site in northern New Jersey, and her remains have actually never been found. Sante and Kenneth Jr. were arrested in New York on an unrelated warrant for writing a bad check to a car dealer, and inside the car, the police found guns, wigs, a date rape drug, a notebook containing plans, Irene's personal belongings, her keys, and a forged deed to her townhouse. So clearly, this linked them to Irene. Investigators soon discovered that the pair were also wanted in the Bahamas, Nevada, and California.